No, we got this, Isaiah. It's fine. All right, it looks like everyone's getting started. So, for those who don't know, Cap Kingdom, pretty straightforward and simple. Really good time for this would be about 2:27. That's top tier time. We'll probably see these guys around the 2:35 mark. But basically what's happened is Bowser lost a fight to Mario. Who'd have thought? Or Mario lost a fight to Bowser. Sorry. And he gets knocked down to Cap Kingdom. Basically, Mario chases down Cappy, and now they're best buds. And basically, you just want to go to the top and defeat the topper and move on. So pretty straightforward. Rufus with an early bonk. That'll cost him. So pretty straightforward. Nothing too significant here for route variances. But this should be one all four of our runners are comfortable with, since it should be the most practiced part of the game. Alright, looks like Vivid is going for the went for the alternate route. He probably will be doing Sphinx and Sand, since he missed out on about 20 to 30 coins. The method he just used is about 2 seconds faster than rolling up. Alright, and Vivid will be the first one out, followed by Isaiah, Rufus, and PerfectQuest. So let's see what these intro times are. Alright, looks 2:37, 2:38, 2:40, 2:47, 2:46. So, decent times. Few errors here and there. So next we have Cascade Kingdom. This one's another very quick one. We get the first Power Moon because we have to. There's no way around it, unfortunately. Not in this race setting. Next we're gonna capture a T-Rex, get 3 moons, and get one last moon, and we're basically done. So, very short, not much to do. The only tricky thing here is the T-Rex bounce. If you're not on that platform just right, you're not going to get the jump, and you're going to lose probably about 5 seconds. And there we go, Vivid trying just a little too fast. Doesn't get it on the first try. Has a little early bounce. And that puts Isaiah in the first out of our 4 runners today. And Vivid's still having a little trouble with that trampoline. So it looks like Rufus has pulled ahead because of Vivid being on that trampoline for about 30 seconds. And it looks like PerfectQuest is also having a little bit of trouble. Can be tricky if you're not used to it. But all 4 runners are on Madam Brutal. Very simple boss. So you just do a little backflip onto the chomp, capture it, and fling it back at the terrible pet owner. Because let's be honest, I don't know about you guys. I don't throw my pets around. And PerfectQuest opting in for the normal strat, which is just to wait. And they're all done. So they'll be moving on to Sand here shortly. Sand has undergone many route changes, so we may see a few different strategies by our runners, depending on their comfortability with a fast Sand Kingdom. Sand Kingdom is also another kingdom with a very high potential for error. So it can cost you a lot of time if you don't get it. Ooh, Isaia with the bonk. That'll cost him. It can cost you a lot of time if you have mistakes here and there. Alright, and with that, everyone's basically done and moving on to Sand. Isaia being the first. It looks like Vivid pulled ahead of Rufus. Rufus had a slow Madam Brutal fight. So, top runner is very close, and Isaia just a little bit ahead of Quest right now. Probably about 25-30 seconds or so. But everyone's still very much in this race. A lot can happen. Alright, looks like Isaia is going for the fountain route. Slightly faster than getting the trampoline to early bird. And it looks like he is going to skip early bird. So we can see, we will definitely see Sphinx room from Isaia. Whether it be Sphinx clip or no Sphinx clip, we'll see about that later. And Vivid is following suit. No early bird for him. So Vivid is definitely going to be doing Sphinx room because he needs those coins. Isaia doing a little different bird strat. Looks like he wanted to get it after the pipe, but missed. Let's see what Rufus does. Rufus is doing employees only. Still solid. So we saw Isaia do a little jump onto the ice pillar and get up on that arch early. So the tricky thing with that is you don't have a shadow when you're going on that ice pillar. So learning it can be tricky, but nevertheless, it can be done. Oh, Isaia taking a little different way around. He bonks, unfortunately. That'll cost him. His bullet bill will die early. Did not go the right way. You can keep it alive, but you want it to make... you want it to go to the right instead of left. And it looks like Vivid's exploded as well. So here we're going to use the bullet bill to get to this standing pillar early. Normally you want to use glider and get it, but we can use a bullet bill and just coast over there. So Rufus taking the slightly safer way up. It's not as fast, but gives you a lot more wiggle room. Alright. Let's see what our runners do. If they're just going to go for Sphinx or attempt Sphinx clip. Alright, looks like Isaia is just going to talk to the Sphinx. And Vivid is going to go for the clip. So we'll see if he can land the early quicksand. Or if he should have just... Oh, Isaiah with the bonk in the money room. That'll cost him, folks. All right. Vivid having trouble clipping in. This is going to give Rufus a lot of time to catch up. All right. And unfortunately, Vivid goes into the room. This is not something you want if you're attempting Sphinx clip. You should have just talked to the Sphinx instead. So now he has to do he can't do quicksand because he wants to get the late bird. So he's going to have to do notes. And Rufus just going for a standard Sphinx room. Not too surprising there. Oop. Vivid had a little trouble with his bullet bill. Taking nice and slow. So another potential for error here is the early Jaxie. Isaiah gets it just fine. If you don't line it up just right, and if you don't cancel at the right time, you can clip onto a little ceiling by the devs, and you'll just fall into the swamp. But so far, no, it has happened to no one, so that's good. And everyone just kind of following in Isaiah and Vivid's footsteps here. Rufus having a little trouble with the bullet bill. He gets it second try. So Isaiah's at the Oasis, getting there's his Oasis bird. So the timing for that, if you go Sphinx room, and opt to not do quicksand, you can get this bird at the Oasis on its first or second cycle around. So that's why some runners opt to get the bird later as opposed to earlier. And runners who do the Sphinx clip route will opt to do late bird because it's the fastest. And Vivid, he got his notes. Cutting it a little close, but Rufus is right behind him. So far it looks like Isaiah pulled ahead of PerfectQuest. PerfectQuest about a little over a minute behind at this point, I would say. And Rufus is about 40 seconds behind Vivid. So top runner's very close. They're just one fall from Metro away to swapping places. As for our bottom runners, so it's a very close race. I find that late game determines a lot of the placement for these. Late game is often the least practiced part, and you see a lot of consistency changes there. So we'll probably see a change in momentum around Metro Kingdom or later. And Isaiah having a little trouble getting up on that zipper. He missed the jump, unfortunately, but he corrected. So Late Kingdom is overall very short. I think we need 7 or 8 moons, and they're all very close to one another. And they're just easily moved on to one of the next. So they're not going to spend too much time here. So, utilizing a cheap, we can actually make it up onto that platform a little earlier than intended by a casual player. You can do a cap jump up on there, but it's quicker to use the cheap. And here we have Rango. Can be a little troublesome boss if you miss a backflip, but as long as you can pick up on the visual cues doing that, fight is no problem. Thank you, Samurai Man. Maybe if I start now, I'll be able to catch up. So Quest doing his zipper. Meanwhile, Vivid and Isaiah are going to be leaving Lake. Leaving Rufus and PerfectQuest to finish it out. But again, Rufus had a very good lake so far, so he's not too far behind Vivid. So next we have personally my favorite kingdom for the soundtrack. Good old Wooded Kingdom. We're gonna bust some nuts here, get some moons, and peace on out. But overall, this can be, depending on your route, can be very movement heavy. To do this quickly, there is a lot of room for error. Or not a lot of room for error. It's very easy to mess up. So here we have Mips, I like to call him. So the strategy there is to just long jump at a certain spot, and you'll hit him almost every time. So Isaiah opting to pick up the moon from Mips after getting the rock. Might save half a second, considering the moon takes about half a second to be collectible. Vivid hitting the bunny with the cap. Another good strategy to use, but your cap can miss, so a little risky. Alright, looks like Rufus fell behind a little bit. He had might have had a little trouble with his boss fight. I didn't see it. Okay, oh, Isaiah taking a bonk. That'll cost him, folks. So that'll cost him about, I would say, 10 to 15 seconds on his overall time here. So next we're gonna have there's this nut on the side of the cliff that Isaiah just got, and he's going to long jump into the pipe. So he's going to be doing the quick pipe, which is the fastest route that current runners use. And here we have a fuzzy cave. The goal is to get the first cycle on these fuzzies. So an optimal cave is about 7 seconds faster. It looks like Isaiah took some damage there, unfortunately. So he did lose some time. Meanwhile, it looks like Rufus and PerfectQuest are in Wooded Kingdom. So they'll be starting to follow in the other runner's footsteps here coming up. Alright, Isaiah not falling into Dark Woods, so always a good feeling when you avoid the Dark Woods. If you don't have Dark Woods routed, you are going to... Oh, Rufus with a bonk, that'll cost him. But as I was saying, if you don't have Dark Woods routed, you will lose a severe amount of time. Definitely reset worthy in some cases. But if you are comfortable with doing Dark Woods, you'll lose about a minute or two, but it looks like no one's fallen in yet. Isaiah taking a death. Unfortunately, he did not grab that checkpoint, so he will be starting back from the pipe entrance. And PerfectQuest having a little trouble with this waterfall. Alright, it looks like he made it up. So with that death, Vivid is now our first place runner. We get this nut around the corner, and then we go back to the piranha plant. Vivid taking a little fall there. It looks like he tried to do a late long jump and kind of rolled off a little too early. So Rufus is going for a checkpoint route. So he's going to be doing, he grabbed the checkpoint, now he's going to do the pipe, and then he'll warp to the checkpoint. For runners who aren't comfortable with the platforming after the pipe, it is faster to take that warp after you collect the second moon. But the fastest route being you finish the pipe and just head on out and go up as intended. Alright, looks like we did not see P-switchless from these runners. Unfortunately, that is hands down my favorite trick to do. It's easy when you get used to it, and it looks so cool. So Isaia with another death, unfortunately. And he did bonk, so that'll cost him. So he's going to have to restart the P-switch and head on up. So this gives PerfectQuest a lot of time to catch up. Alright, so in this tower climb, we have a nut in the side of the tower. We're going to use the onion to get the one at the top. And then we go up top to fight Speward. So, very easy boss to do quickly. Just jump on his hat, stand right in front of him, do a little cap throw, and then hit him on the head. Super simple. Shouldn't have any problem avoiding damage here. And with that, Isaia and Vivid are going to be heading out. And Rufus and PerfectQuest still have a little bit to do here. So next up on the agenda is a, see what do we have? Fake Metro. So Nintendo wants us to believe that we're going to Metro. However, we're going to be interrupted by Bowser. So our next stop is Cloud Kingdom with a very simple first Bowser fight. We'll more than likely see our runners go with normal hat captures. You can do instant captures on this boss, but they are very, very tight with timing, so it's safer to just do the boss the intended way. So, why Bowser installed boxing gloves in his hat, you know, only Nintendo will know that. But Isaia having a little trouble with that first hat. Bowser, if you hit the hat too close to Bowser, he will recapture it, and you have to start over, basically. Alright, looks like Vivid is finishing up his Bowser's fight, as Rufus will be starting his. So, based on rough timings, it's about 1 minute 40 I would say Vivid has as a lead over Rufus right now. Now Isaia having a little trouble with Bowser, getting hit by that hat. Alright, it looks like he's gonna finish it up. Yep. So I'd say PerfectQuest made up a little bit of ground because of those deaths Isaia hadn't wooded. Now we have the fabled meme tree for Vivid. It can be very tricky to get onto, as we can see right now. If you're not on the right spot, you'll just fall through the leaves. So we want to do a triple jump here to skip the Klepto bird animation. Having that happen loses you about a minute on your time. Definitely a reset worthy for top tier runners, or any runner for that matter. Next, we're going to have this little butterfly. Alright, looks like Isaia gets a very solid meme tree. Didn't have any trouble with it. Now we're going to move down to these platforms, get a couple moons. Oh, Vivid with a bonk. That's going to cost him. That's a hefty bonk. Falling anywhere on this stage before intended is extremely bad, because you start at the beginning of the level and you have to make your way back without triggering Klepto. So with that, Isaia is put in the lead out of our runners. So let's see how Rufus's tree goes. It looks like Rufus is going to be taking an alternate route up. Klepto will not trigger if you are on top of the cage, and Rufus will be collecting the cave instead of the mound and go into the butterfly. So, still a very quick method if you're not comfortable with the meme tree. So the important thing here that you saw Isaia and Vivid do is you have to trigger the music from Klepto, and once you trigger the music, the game thinks Klepto has your hat, so you won't trigger the cutscene unless you throw your hat at Klepto. So it's called Meme Tree because it's in the community. It's basically a hard tree to get onto and execute a triple jump. So generally, things that are more painful to do in a speedrun are given a little meme title. It looks like Vivid took an early death. I had to refresh my restream here. Looks like he's having a little trouble with the bridge. So this is going to give Rufus time to catch up. I don't think Vivid is aware that he can stand on the bridge right above the moon without triggering the bird, as we can see from here. If you do mess up here, you can stand right above the moon. You will not trigger Klepto. But it looks like Vivid does get it. Neither runner going for Deathless, unfortunately. So they're actually very close to one another, only seconds apart at this point. Now we have Isaia and Dark Metro. Alright, so Isaia did take a fall here in Dark Metro. Very unforgiving. A lot of runners like to coin this the definite time loss section of the game because it is very easy to mess up. So what we're going to see Vivid do is go for the trampoline jump, girder, and then head on in. Isaia taking some damage from these Goombas, having a little trouble with his tower climb. This tower climb is very movement precise, so the climb up can be very tricky if you're not used to it. But once you get another bonk from Rufus and Isaia, that'll cost them. So Rufus and Vivid having a little trouble getting up top. Isaia does make the long jump fine. That forced camera rotation can make it tricky. Okay, it looks like Rufus gets it. So it looked like they were throwing their cap just a little too early, which will cause them to bonk. Alright, so we'll see if Isaia can get this 2-cycle while Rufus and Vivid do the tower climb themselves. And PerfectQuest finishes up with Lost, so he's going to join the R runners here in Dark Metro. So we're going to see some manipulation on this boss here. The goal is to have him go the shortest routes possible for this to speed up the fight, because you got to go fast. So this boss is definitely on the more annoying side, with random patterns. You don't really know where he's going to end up, which can make getting the 2-cycle a little tricky. He can either go high or low. It's preferred if he takes a downward turn. But it looks like Isaia does get the 2-cycle, which is very nice. So that'll save him about 27 seconds, I would say, on this fight, because a 3-cycle is very slow. Rufus having a little trouble with his climb, so Vivid's gonna pull ahead if he doesn't fall at the top here. And Vivid makes it through while Rufus has to finish that climb. And Isaia is going to be moving on to Light Metro. So Vivid about 35 seconds ahead. At this point, nothing too substantial. It's if Vivid gets a 3-cycle, Rufus has a chance to catch up. So Isaia is going for the scooter clip. Oh, and he gets it. So unfortunately for you RC car lovers out there who took the time to get good at it, the scooter clip is 6 to 8 seconds faster, I believe, than doing the RC car, because you don't have to go through the drive, the capture animation, the uncapture animation, and all of that. So very nice on Isaiah's part. I'm sure he's been practicing a little bit of contortionism for that, because his controller was most likely upside down for that. But very nice. And I think Vivid got a 2-cycle. I'm not completely sure. But judging where Rufus is currently on the boss, I would say it's safe to say that there was a 2-cycle. And it looks like Rufus will get the 2-cycle as well. So very nice for our top runners. Very close to one another. Very exciting race out of all of our runners. So Isaia warping up to the top, getting this lonely dumpster moon, jumping down to the skirter, and now he's going to go up top and leave it to Nintendo to have a little King Kong climb. So, oh, Isaia falling. He did a quicker climb. Unfortunately, missed the moon at the top. The risky run with doing quicker strides. Oh, and a bonk. That'll cost him. So, Vivid opting in for the RC car, having a little trouble with it, but he gets it. And Isaia picking up his pool moon. Meanwhile, Vivid and Rufus are just following in the normal route. So see if PerfectQuest can get this 2-cycle. So we saw Isaia jump off to the left and get that hidden cafe moon. Vivid missing the Feels Bad Man bench, unfortunately. So we saw Isaia on the busy street. If you're not aware with it, the strat for that is activate the switch, roll along the right side, and you'll get it no problem. See if Rufus can land on the Feels Bad bench. And he gets it. Sticks the landing. So now we talk to Paulina on Isaiah's screen. This activates the 4 moons from the musicians in town. We only get 2 of them because we don't want to trigger the festival or sewer part of the game. So we just got Yao Man. And now we're going to go on to everyone's favorite meme, courtesy of I Ate Your Pie. Everyone get your OTEPs ready, because it's about to happen. But first we, as if blowing up the boss wasn't bad enough, we go ground pound him for another moon. Yay! So, with that, Isaia is finished up with Metro Kingdom. I'm sure he's more than happy to get out of there right now. And Vivid and Rufus are roughly 15 seconds apart. And they're going to finish up the Metro Kingdom route as well. And Quest just now finishing up that RC car. So he's about... PerfectQuest is about a full kingdom behind Isaia at this point, unfortunately. That's a lot of ground to make up. But we'll see how that goes. So based on the coin count here, we'll either see Snow Kingdom or Seaside. So I believe Isaia went to Snow. I had a little bit of lag on my end. Yes, Isaia went to Snow. So this decision is based purely upon coin count. If you have 100 coins or more leaving Metro City, you go to Snow, because it saves you menuing time and you have the coins required for the shop moon. And that is the only thing influencing this route choice. So we have Captain Toad chilling in a blizzard. You know, poor Captain Toad. I'm sure he built that snow wall to stay warm, but Mario rudely knocks it down and it just leaves Toad there to freeze. So RIP Captain Toad. Now we have our OTEP from Vivid. So OTEP 2. And Rufus is going to give us OTEP 3. Alright, so Isaia is going to have to do a triple jump onto the wall. Oh, messes it up a little bit. Can be tricky. But he gets the moon next to the cardboard boxes. And he's going to move on to the shop. Meanwhile, PerfectQuest doing the climb, finishing up his Metro Kingdom. I'm sure he does not want to be here anymore. So Rufus and Vivid will be going to Snow to start off with. So Isaia is going to jump on this little snow cone stand, get on this bridge, and there's a chest right here that has a moon. Now he can either roll or long jump, so let's see which one he opts to do. Alright, he opts to roll, and bonk! That'll cost him. So, for a fun fact, Mario's skull is not stronger than, concrete. I don't know if anyone was aware. Alright, looks like Quest had a little trouble with the busy street, unfortunately. So he will have to reset it. Alright, Isaiah going for the quick room. Quick swamp room, as I like to call it. So what he wanted to do there was... Ooh, almost took a death. So it is possible to do a triple jump off of the moving wooden blocks. As at the same time, the typhoon is doing a little gust. And you can actually get up to that high wooden block very early. Rufus having, looks like a little trouble with Captain Toad. I think he's a little lost right now, unfortunately. So if he just hangs right, he should be fine. So, unfortunately, Vivid is going to pull ahead there. Looks like Rufus wasted about 20 seconds. So, Isaiah is in the Goomba room. Can be one of the most frustrating rooms to deal with. It's made of ice, which makes it slick. And on top of that, if you accidentally kill a Goomba, you have to either kill Mario or go to a respawn point, which, depending on the Goombas, can be different. And then we have this what seems to be a risky long jump. That actually offers a lot of leeway. So with that, Isaiah finishing up the Goomba room. Gonna move on to the Ringo's room. But he will not be fighting Ringo himself, because we only need one more moon to leave. Oh, and there's another bonk. That'll cost you, Isaiah. Alright, PerfectQuest finishing up Metro. He's gonna make his way onto... Oh, another bonk from Isaiah. That'll cost him. So Quest should be joining our runners here in Snow. Meanwhile, Isaiah is leaving Snow. Nope, Quest opting in for Seaside first. He may have a low coin count based on deaths. Or it just might be habit. So let's see here. Isaiah is moving on to... Oh, Quest did go to Snow. Reading strats here, guys. Pro commentator life. I can read very well. So Isaiah is starting up Seaside. So what we want to do here, there's a moon on the ledge right behind us. So we're going to do a little triple jump to get up there early. Can be a little tricky to set up. But if you're good with your cap jumps, there's a lot of leeway. And Vivid had a little wonky Goomba section. Didn't really follow him like you wanted. So Isaiah going into this pipe, getting it out of the sand. And Vivid going for this long jump. We'll see if he gets it. And he's got it. So now we have Goomba room for Rufus, and Quest is going to spend his money. Now we have this moon in the cave from Isaiah. Let's see. Oop, death perception is not your friend in this cave. So it's roughly in the middle. Looks like he corrects and collects the moon. That wall can be a little tricky. The intended route, or intended method, is to get a Gushin and go in there, but we don't need it because that's slow. All right, Isaiah getting the notes, no problem. Controlling a fire flower. Rufus had a little Goomba trouble, it seems. So, as I was saying with the fire flower, your control stick becomes much more sensitive to every direction, and it makes it very easy to miss those notes. So Isaiah capturing a Gushin, getting a cheap, and getting this chest. He's going to move on to the shortcut moon. Don't tell anyone, but it's a shortcut. So Quest doing the standard snow route. Doesn't look like he's having much troubles here. And looks like Vivid finished up with snow while Rufus is going to get his last moon. Isaiah getting the moon from Shiny Lapras. Now we're going to tackle some seaweed. Get this moon. And then we're going to go into this little cave down here and finish up. So overall, Seaside has the potential to be a very fast kingdom. Roughly 3 minutes, I want to say. All right, Vivid having a little trouble with this ledge. All right, he gets it second try. Meanwhile, Isaiah finishing up with Seaside. So now it looks like Isaiah is about a full kingdom ahead of Vivid. For race purposes, it's not too meaningful, but just a nice little thing to note. And PerfectQuest almost dying in the Goomba room. That would have not been fun. So Isaiah is going to move on to the lovely Luncheon Kingdom. I hope chat has had their lunch. Otherwise, prepare to be very hungry. Unfortunately, Luncheon is made up of a ton of fruit, Pepto-Bismol, and 1 slice of steak. So I feel like Nintendo is catering towards eat your fruits and veggies here, but you know. Also, I don't know if any of you in chat have tried it, but do not drink hot Pepto-Bismol. You will not have a fun time. Alright, so Isaiah got his salt wall moon. Ooh, Mario's posterior in the rear being tested on the fiery hot Pepto. Isaiah taking this heart for safety. Maybe. Maybe not. Yep, he is. Okay. So do not want an accidental death here. So Rufus having a little trouble with his cave. Looks like he's... there we go. Again, Seaside can be very tricky if you haven't practiced it a lot. So Isaiah beats Speward 2, the exact same fight. Nintendo was like, we need a boss here. We're going to put Speward here. Good enough. So, Vivid finishing up while Rufus is about halfway done. So Vivid has about roughly a minute-and-a-half lead on Rufus currently. Again, can be easily turned around late game. We have PerfectQuest starting his adventure into Seaside. And he's gonna follow the same path as everyone else. So Isaiah getting this moon on the, I'm gonna call it the candy wall. It looks like he... Okay, he slowed down a little bit. Let's see. Oh, it looks like Isaiah is living that pro controller life. Not doing the swag Joy-Con down throw. Okay. So we're gonna throw a golden turnip into a boiling pot of stew. I don't know about you guys. I have not tried gold yet. Here there's a big craze with gold flakes on food. Not really sure if I want to be eating gold. It's not gonna make me feel any richer. It's gonna make my wallet feel a lot more lighter than it already is. So Vivid getting on that salt wall, no problem. Now Isaiah did not change his camera to a above bird's eye view. So in doing that, and not changing the camera, you actually make the Podoboo spawn because it's on screen. Mario games tend to have a nice little measure of things being on screen and spawning in, and Podoboos are one example of that. But it only loses about a second. So we're gonna see some hard cheese here on Isaiah's end. Looks like Isaiah being trolled by the Spiny. He opted in for the, I guess, somewhat quicker strat, depending on RNG, if it's on your side or not. So if you're right in front of an object with the pan bro, the pan will automatically hit the target right in front of you. Alright. Vivid taking that heart because he doesn't want that refill. I don't blame him. So Rufus is going to get on his salt wall, having a little trouble. Opting in for the triple jump. He makes it up, no problem. So not too far behind Vivid at this point. And Isaiah will be doing Podoboo Rune. I believe this is the preferred room. I don't know. It just depends on the runner. You can do forks or Podoboos. With optimal hat throws, forks is about 3 seconds faster. Oh, Vivid taking a bonk. That'll cost him. Okay, looks like he makes it up there. Gets a little refill. So having a little trouble with this section. I gave Rufus time to catch up. So Isaiah finished up Podoboo Room, no problem. Gets this rock around the Candy Mountain. And he's gonna grab his tender fillet and peace on out. So, ooh, Isaiah falling there. Again, testing the fire Pepto. But he'll correct his mistakes and head on up. So, from what it looks like, Vivid may have about a 35 to 45 second lead on Rufus at this point. So very close. Meanwhile, PerfectQuest is going to opt in for the Scarecrow instead of the Salt Wall. So whatever you're more comfortable with here. Route changes and all that do make the Salt Wall a little faster if you can get it first try. So, PerfectQuest still about a kingdom behind Isaiah at this point. I think Luncheon takes around 6 minutes to complete. Okay. Vivid going to take the little safe... Ooh, Vivid with the bonk, that'll cost him. So, taking a little different way up. while Rufus cooks his gold turnip. So Isaiah finishes up with luncheon, and now he's going to move on to the last thing we've ever expected to see in a Mario game, is a dragon fight. What gave Nintendo this idea? Who'd have knew? Who'd have thought? But we got to see a nice little HD dragon from Nintendo, and they opted in to make him breathe lightning, no less. Hence the Lord of Lightning. So for this boss, you can call him a dragon from Skyrim. If you play WoW, you can call him Deathwing. But it is a dragon nonetheless. So our goal here is to damage boost onto the top of his head, and then take out the little golden pegs on his skull, and then ground pound him. And we do that 3 times, and you win. So very simple, very straightforward. So we'll put a little more attention to Rufus and Vivid right now. Looks like Rufus taking a little damage from that Goomba. Rufus with that bonk, that'll cost him. He'll get that moon on the candy wall. Oh, Vivid with a death in Potable Room. That is unfortunate. That's going to cost about 20 seconds. Deaths in this game are never fun to deal with. Let's see if he can get this again. Alright, he gets it. He may have... Oh, and he loses his Potable. So he may have jumped a little early there. If you jump a little too early, you won't make it up. Meanwhile, PerfectQuest finishing up the door, or just starting the door, I guess. Very short moon to get. So it looks like Vivid will take the safe way to do the Potaboos. Understandable, since the cycle was messed up. So with Vivid going to collect the stake, Rufus is going to do Potaboos. And he's still not too far behind. Still a very easy mistake in Bowser's Kingdom, and Rufus will pull ahead. And looks like PerfectQuest is just following the normal luncheon route. I believe he's going to be doing... We'll see if he does forks or Potaboos. But, you know, I always say you can't trust a forks guy. Okay, Rufus taking the safe way as well in the Potaboos. Does not take a death, so he will gain some time on Vivid. So now Isaiah is in Bowser's Kingdom. Again, Nintendo throwing us a curveball. Typically we see endgame content being a castle from Bowser, but instead we are at a fortress. It's in Japan themed. So it looks like Isaiah does get one of the newer strats, the Pokio recapture when you fall off the wall. A little faster than the fabled glory hole, so we will not be seeing that from Isaiah. And it looks like Quest is doing forks. So, you've heard it here, folks. We can't trust Quest. He's a forks guy. So, Keku, Vivid is in the lead currently out of the top 2, and Isaiah is in the lead for the bottom 2. However, Rufus is right on his, like, right behind him. Rufus is about 30 seconds behind at this point. No, 45 seconds maybe. So Isaiah going for these shards. And looks like he will be doing the Pokeo-less method. If you're comfortable with this, it is faster than capturing a Pokeo. However, if you make an error, such as, you know, eating a cannonball to the face, it does end up being slower. Alright, you know, we're going to call that a bonk into a Pokeo. Mario is not stronger than a Pokeo, so that'll cost him. And for our viewers watching, don't forget to follow the runners. You know, they try very hard to put on the show for you guys, and they stream in whatever way possible. I know PerfectQuest capture card died on him, so he just set up a webcam, and he's doing what he can. So Isaiah not taking a death right before the shard moon. I was a little worried for him. He was on 1 health. He doesn't bonk on the side of the wall there, so that's good. He was cutting it very close. So now he's gonna have a he's gonna do 2 brutal fights. We have to fight Topper and what's her name? We're gonna call her Lewd Bunny right now. I'm sure someone in chat will correct me, but she's the Lewd Bunny. And Rufus and Vivid are just doing their dragon fight. Nothing too exciting up there. Alright, looks like Isaiah is doing Topper first. Completely up to choice. They're pretty much the same speed. Alright, Isaiah didn't have any trouble with Topper. Harriet. Thank you, Isaiah. Harriet, you know, we're just gonna call her Lewd Bunny. So she has. This would be the second time we've would have seen Harriet. However, we skipped fighting her in sand. So she has 1 pigtail in sand. Now she has 2, which makes returning the bombs a little harder, but still very easy to do. So Isaiah finishes off his fight. His brutal fight's no problem. And Vivid and Rufus are going to start up with the Bowser's Kingdom. So we'll see which routes they choose. Very minor changes. And PerfectQuest is going to start up his boss fight with the dragon. And he's bonking there. That'll cost him. I didn't forget about you, Quest. That'll cost you 2 seconds. I'm watching. Alright, Isaiah going for a little quicker way up. Little more dangerous. Alright, it looks like Vivid did not opt in for the Pokeo Moon. Neither has Rufus. So they'll be doing the glory hole. So enjoy, chat. Alright, so Isaiah starting his brutal fight, or his mech fight. So the fastest method for this fight is going up birdless. And it looks like Isaia will be going for the side bunny, so he's going to wait until after the mech spins to ground pound Topper. Oh, it looks like Isaia unfortunately fell. So that'll be about 30 seconds added. Well, no, not 30, maybe 15. So Rufus and Vivid are going to be getting the Shard Moon and the Glory Hole. Looks like Vivid forgot about. Oh, nope. All right. Looks like he forgot about the shard behind the wall. Isaia only taking one fall on the mech. So, still pretty good mech fight. And meanwhile, Rufus is still right behind Vivid at this point. So it could be a mech fall. It could be bad, brutal fights that turns this race around for these top runners. And Isaia finishes up with Bowser's. Unfortunately, for PerfectQuest, at this point, Isaia would probably need about a few multiple deaths on the moon, Bowser, and the Bowser sequence. I believe Bowser's Kingdom takes about I want to say 8 minutes to do optimally. So it looks like Isaia is going to be on a 112 pace, maybe. So Rufus having a little trouble with Harriet. See some fire on the ground there. Meanwhile, Vivid having a little trouble with Topper here. He's got to be very careful. Okay, he picked up an extra heart. But again, having a little trouble with Topper here, getting hit by those ricochet hats. And Rufus had a little trouble with Harriet, but it looks like Vivid. Okay, he avoids the one heart clench. So, all right, let's see if Isaia can get our fabled moon skip first try. So normally you want to go in this cave to the left, but that sequence takes about 4.5 minutes itself. So we get on top of the Sphinx. We do a little ground pound on his head, do a little cap jump, and then line ourselves up with a visual cue for pixels on the wall behind the Sphinx and the wall to the left of the Sphinx. And doing that lets us do 2 wall jumps up to the top and skip that sequence entirely. So Vivid starting his climb up to the mech, and Rufus is doing the same. Still roughly 40 seconds between these runners, if that. Meanwhile, Isaia is starting his Bowser's fight. So we'll see if see if we can have a clean Bowser's over here in the bottom right corner. Alright, so Vivid having a little trouble with the climb. Rufus playing it safe, not trying to go too fast. Maybe he knows he just doesn't need any easy mistakes right now. But I think Rufus is definitely on PB pace. And Vivid starts his mech. Okay, looks like he gets up birdless, no problem. And like I said, Rufus is right behind him, so we'll see if both these runners have a clean mech. And meanwhile, Isaia finishing up Bowser. It's like Quest having a little trouble with Topper. Okay, Rufus getting up there. Didn't have too much trouble with it. So now we have the Moon Cave escape sequence, where we actually get to control Bowser in a 3D Mario game. So we'll see if Isaia attempts the 2D skip. We'll see if he wants to save those 2 seconds or if he's going to take the safe way around. And Rufus falling on the mech, unfortunately. So Vivid will pull ahead here. And Quest is going to start his second brutal fight. And we are going to see no 2D skip out of Isaia. So, Rufus unfortunately having to wait for this mech to finish stomping around before he climbs up with the bird. And Vivid will be loading up, and and Rufus taking a death on the mech. So that is a very costly mistake, unfortunately. That may cement Vivid as our top winner, barring no significant mistakes. So it looks like Rufus is going in, opting in for the bird strat. Completely understandable. Alright. Isaia finishing up the anime. He should be good. Shouldn't fall. And PerfectQuest is gonna start his ascent up to the mech. And Isaia... Looks like Isaiah's on-screen time is a 1:13:45. So, unfortunately, not PB. No ending cutscene from Isaia. Some disrespect right there. We'll see if Isaia wants to get in here for a quick interview. Rufus finishing up his mech. Vivid. We'll see how Vivid's moon skip goes. Okay. Vivid lighting himself up. Okay, Rufus getting that. Okay, Rufus not doing a mid-air twirl before that second cap throw, so It may just be a thing he needs to practice and to remember to do. It can be tricky though in the heat of the moment in this race setting. So Rufus finishes up the mech. And PerfectQuest looks like he's going to be finishing up. He has 2 more hits and he's good. So Vivid starting Bowser, Rufus starting Moon. GG's Isaiah. If you're there. There
Hello?
we go. There we go.
I'm at the landlord currently, so it might be some background noise from me. Apologies for that.
No worries. GG's. Looks like you had a decent run there. I think you had a few unwanted deaths here and there.
Yeah.
But overall, how was your take on your run?
Horrible, in my opinion. This was far behind my average segments.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It can be a little tricky. Was this your first run of the day, or did you get a warm up in?
I warmed it for like 10 minutes, but it's really cold in here. So
Yeah,
I was playing with really cold hands.
Yeah, playing with cold hands is never
You might
easy.
have seen me struggling to even match through the text box in the early game.
Yeah, I've had to play with cold hands a few times myself, and it's not enjoyable. But it looks like you had a pretty substantial lead over Quest, probably by Metro Kingdom, I would say. When he started, you were leaving, basically. So you always maintain that 1 kingdom lead. But it looks like we have Vivid finishing up with Bowser's Escape. He's starting Bowser's Escape, so they'll be joining us here shortly. But overall, I mean, it was a very good run. You just gotta clean up a few things here and there, and you should. I mean, I think you should be able to get a 109 time, just about. I would say. All right, let's see how Rufus does on his moon skip. And he gets it first try. Oh, Vivid taking a death. That'll cost him. Oh, and Rufus taking a death as well. Commentator's curse on Rufus. I'm sorry, buddy. So Rufus is going to have to start the moon over, unfortunately. So I believe Vivid went for the 2D skip, maybe? Maybe that caused the death. I'm not quite sure. No worries, Isaiah. So Vivid makes it out of the 2D section. See if Rufus gets see if we can get this sort of first try again. I believe I'm not in the official race channel, but PerfectQuest may have just decided to forfeit since his screen is black currently. So, Vivid starting his anime. Rufus still having a little trouble with the moon skip. It looks like he got it. Yeah, there we go. So he just needs to make this little. There we go. Taking the time for the cap jump. Oh, and he bonks and falls again. Oh, being trolled at the end of a run.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, 1 second. Need to change some things really quick. Alright, not sure why my Discord decided to have output to a monitor. That was a little weird.
That does sound weird, yeah.
So there we go, fixed it. It looks like Vivid finished up with a race time of 1:20.48 on screen. And Rufus still having a little trouble with the. I mean, he might be practicing moon skip at this point. I hope. So we'll see if Vivid wants to get in here for an interview. And maybe PerfectQuest as well.
What was the last question you asked me again before the internet fell out?
I think I was just telling you how you could have, if you cleaned up some things, I'm sure you could have a 109 time easily.
Yeah, definitely. My summer best is high 109 currently, but I do have pretty free gold splits in both Metro and Bowser Kingdom. That would have been a 15 seconds gold in Bowser, but then clipped through the mecha. Brutal.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a little weird.
So that did confuse me, and also my Wither was terrible. That was like a minute slower than my gold split for it.
Yeah, Mech can be unforgiving, and having a, I want to say a quick Bowser's Kingdom is just incredibly hard to get. Even my time currently is for Bowser's is still about 20 seconds faster than top 4 runners.
Yeah, comparing against the top 4 runners is just really rough and kind of frustrating to see just how free your gold should be. I'm like 20 seconds behind world record in Cascade Kingdom with my gold segments.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's I mean it's a little tricky one to get down, but I think my main areas are Bowser's, maybe 5 in Metro. Luncheon is like 15. So I don't think I've ever had a perfect luncheon yet. But it's the life you live when you're trying to get into that 106 life.
Yeah, I don't think I have one gold split that I'm actually 100% satisfied with. Maybe Seaside.
Yeah, Seaside's pretty easy to get down all the way.
Yeah.
I think a good Seaside, it's like 302. But no, definitely good run.
Yeah, thank you.
Can't
And
complain.
thank you for the commentary. I'm gonna head out now, so you don't get too much background noise.
All right, no worries. Have a good day.
Later.
So now we have Rufus finishing off Bowser, or he's gonna start Bowser's Escape. So again, congrats to Isaia and Vivid on the wins. Looks like Rufus almost fell there. But unfortunately, Rufus just had some late game mistakes that cost him coming in first place for our top runners. But overall, very good race between all 4. Some things happen. in race settings that can kind of throw you off your loop. I'm sure it can be frustrating, but you just got to keep going. Okay, Rufus is going to have to opt out of that triple jump. For those who don't know, you can do a double and then slash your way up, but I'm not sure he's aware of that currently. Looks like Isaiah's giving us a little slideshow. So we didn't get a 2D skip out of Rufus. Don't blame him. So it looks like Rufus is going to be finishing up here shortly with, I would say, roughly a 127-10. So very good race by all four of our runners. I don't forget to follow them. They put in a lot of hard work to make this happen. And I guess if you enjoyed the commentary, we got face cam on PerfectQuest over here. So we get to follow your commentator as well. I am Bayleaf, for those who don't know. I ran any percent until I got a 108.27, and then I switched to darker side where I'm currently 4th place. So we'll have Rufus finish up with this escape sequence, and I'll see if I can get him in here for a quick interview. All right, so looks like Rufus had a on-screen time of 1:27.16. So I am confirmed not a witch, so you guys don't have to burn me. All right, looks like we are not going to have any interviews today, any more interviews. So, well, with that being said, congratulations to Vivid and Isaiah for their wins, and thank you all 4 runners for doing your best to give us a good stream and good content to watch nonetheless. I'm sure everyone in chat greatly appreciates it. I appreciate it. I do enjoy doing these commentaries, even though I do have a really bad cough right now, so I apologize if I went in and out. I'm just trying to spare your ears and mute my mic so I can just get a little cough out of the way. So I hope everyone in chat has a good day. Thank you to Feasel, our restreamer, for this. He makes this happen along with the rest of the Speed Gaming crew. Greatly appreciate it. I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to go take some cough medicine and maybe lie down. But thanks everyone for coming out. Hope you enjoyed the commentary, and long live the bonks. That'll cost you 2 seconds. Goodbye, everyone.